What's going on, beautiful people? I've got a good idea for a tank I want to do down here. This whole section is looking really, really good at the moment, except for one tank. So let's start right of the 8 foot. We've got this cute little shrimp scape that I've got down here going on. It's just running on autopilot, just top it up every now and again. We've got the electric blue AKARA tank that I've just set up. These guys are doing really well. I'm pretty certain there is going to be some breeding very shortly. Just moved though, so we'll give them a little bit of time. And then up the top, we have got the end of the gully. They are breeding. There are babies. Where are the babies? I've just been in there and cleaned it out because all of the tissue culture Halanthrium tenellum that I put down here, it melted back. But you can see there, all the new growth coming back again. So I'm just kind of leaving it alone. Oh, there we go. There's a baby. Yeah, there's quite a few actually. And then next to that tank, we have got the, the green neons. They do now tend to hide a lot more than they did when I first put them in. A little bit of misting going on there because I just scraped the glass. I'm going to probably get some more fish soon for this tank, just to hopefully kind of like coax them out as a bit of like a reassurance for them. Because if fish see other fish out in an open area, they tend to come out a little bit more. Then next to them, we've got our dwarf danios and a few Odessa barbs in there as well, which are now bigger than the danios, and they weren't when we put them in, holding some plants for me as well. But yeah, this again is just like a stream. I just leave it to do its thing. We've got some creep coming forward from the dwarf sage there, look, but I think it looks quite natural and cool, so I don't really touch it. Then below, we've got a better fish tank here. He is doing great, and he is right next to the better sorority that we set up. Again, that's doing good. Most of the fungus from the new wood has come off now. There's just a couple of little dollops on the end. I'll stick some snails in there. I might put a bristle nose in actually as well, just to get things shift around on the sand and that. It's a little bit of a diatom phase, but it's quite a new tank, but all the plants are growing fantastic anyway. Then next to that, we have got the brand new shrimp shire. They're all sort of nestled in. They're doing good. I've seen them like all over the place. I've seen them actually using the holes as well. Been doing like a 50% water change for the first few days, but now I need to relax on that because everything's settled in way more. But this here, this is the tank that I'm talking about. So we've got all these really nice sort of tanks on display, and then just this misty plant tank. Well, I don't need to keep these in here, there's not that many. And there is room in all of my plant storage tanks underneath here if I just sort of shift them all up a little bit. Seems a shame not to build a tank when you can build a tank. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change this tank here into a crystal red shrimp tank. Now, I'm gonna do a little method I tried a long time ago that worked well, but when I moved studios, I had to drain the water, move it all across, and after that, the shrimp didn't do too well, but up until that point, they were doing great. I used a different soil that we usually use in aquascaping. I'm also going to combine it with a ton of bogwood and an absolute ton of BUSE as well. I've ordered like every type of BUSE. It's not here yet, but it's coming. There we go, all cleaned out and ready in seconds, thanks to the trusty shop vac. Now, of course, usually at this stage, I go for some sort of elaborate substrate system that's going to provide constant nutrients for plants and things like that, but that's not what I'm going for on this one. This is all about the shrimp, and I've got a soil that I've used before with great success, and it is called that. I don't know what that is, but anyway, this is AKADAMA, something like that soil, and basically it's heat treated clay, so it's gone like hard. Now I think you use it in like bonsai potting and things like that, but I once saw a YouTube channel, like I think it was a foreign one. I didn't know what was going on, but I saw this stuff. And they used it for their crystal red shrimp. And it explains why I had really good success last time. Basically, buffers the pH a bit, brings it down a little bit. Buffers, does that mean up or down? Or just both? Anyway, it brings the pH down a little bit, which is really good for Caridina shrimp. Crystal reds are Caridina shrimp, you see. Okay, let's take a closer look at this stuff. So on the surface of it, it literally does just look like soil. Does it crush? Yeah, it crushes into a powder as well. I'm actually thinking how good this might be as like to go underneath sand and then capping it as a substrate. That would be interesting to know. Yeah, I'm going to do that as an experiment because if it grows bonsai trees, there's obviously enough nutrients to grow all our plants as well. Although it is very expensive and the pond soil I use isn't, so probably won't do that. Yeah, I like the colour of it, I really do. It gives a completely different vibe to the usual black that you get in aqua soils. And a lot of the aqua soils you get now don't really change the pH very much, but this stuff does drop it. So the last tank that I did this in, push that back. Oh, it just fits. There we go. Last tank I put this in, I put enough soil down that it was like sort of one bead thick, if you like. So I think I'll do that again, but just with a little bit more in the background area as well, because you don't want tons of it apparently. This is what I could make out and gather from this foreign video that I cannot now find. So this is slightly more than one bead thick, but I'm trying to get at least a decent coverage. And the good thing is, like aquasoil, because it's been clay baked, it doesn't break down either over time. I mean, obviously with the shrimp pecking all over it, it's going to break down a little bit. But I had the other one running up before, it was more of a nano. I had that up and running for a decent amount of time. Need a little bit more. Yeah, I think it was running for a good 8 months before I moved into this studio and had to break it down. Could flatten it out a bit, but I don't really think I need to. It's pretty flat anyway. Oh, what's that? A twig. And I don't know why, but that moisture is really annoying me. Spoilt the perfect sort of look. Right, so what is next then? Well, in similar fashion to the Akara tank next to it, BUSE. Oh, hello guys, around here? That's the female, I think, there. They're getting very settled in here, and I've got no doubt we're going to be getting some babies very shortly. I might put some botanicals in as well, just to soften the water a bit, and I'm going to feed them some bloodworms, and that should just get them going. I don't know why I'm talking about, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, my point was, we just did a simple sand base, some rocks, some wood, all glued together with stuff on top of it, and that's exactly what I want to do here, but not the same plants at all. This is going to be an absolute haven for Bucephalandra. Now I'm waiting for a shipment to come in of BUSE, but I have still got some, yeah, down here. That's all going to the recycling centre. Excuse the mess, but I've got loads of BUSE down in this tank. Yeah, so I've currently only got one BUSE in stock. It's Thea. It's actually my favourite one though, because look at that. I absolutely love the leaves on this. And in the right lighting and that, they can kind of look purpley sometimes as well. I just think it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous plant. It's my favourite, but we've got so many more varieties coming. We've also got some Cadigang, which you can see in the middle there. There's some more that one. And you can see here in my better Peace Lily tank, which is going nuts. You can see how good the BUSE looks once it's got like some nice lighting on it. See what I mean? There's some bluey purples in on the leaves. They're not all the same. This one's got a little bit of an algae infection. I need to get on top of that before it goes absolutely nuts. Yes, hello. Hello, buddy. You're gorgeous. Now, I always used to build, well, majority of the time I do actually, but you know, I build the hardscape inside the tank. Now, with little tanks like this, you can do it outside of the tank and just put it in. That is unless, of course, you want to incorporate the substrate into part of the design, which on this one we don't, do we? We've got our nutrients down. We can just sit anything we want on top of it. It's not deep, so it's not going to shift around, but it's something fun about creating the hardscape out of the tank and taking your time with it, ease of access, you can get around anywhere to glue, and it just makes sense when you can do it. So I've set up my little fake dojo area again, marking out the sort of base of the tank, so I know exactly the size I can fit. So it's not too big, too small, that kind of thing. And the point of that is, look, I've selected some nice rocks. We can place them in and just see how much space they actually take up and if it's suitable or not. So yeah, I think that's good. We've got loads of areas still available. I'd rather have that one at the back though and a flatter one in the foreground. And then we've already got an idea of how it's going to look in the tank. So this is a rock I got from Aquarium Gardens a while back now. It's called Black Elderly Stone. It might be better that way. Yeah, got some nice character on those edges. I want to probably be able to utilise those. Oh, stands up. There's an idea. But yeah, it's quite a new sort of rock that is out and available, but it looks so cool with all the different colours and shades on it. That one isn't, but it's something I have that's similar and smaller because I've only got other big pieces, so that'll work. And then we can go ahead and place some wood on it as well. So I've got this really cool piece of bogwood, and I can connect it in this section with some tissue and glue. Do that in a minute. And that should keep it locked onto that piece. Or I could just place this in there like this, and it's going to be so hard to get to. I'm going to try and attach that piece like that. See how we've got like an explosion going that way? I think it would be cool to have something coming here as well, but we need the right piece. I managed to find one that's just kind of the same. Look at how they've got all these sort of circles and holes. Love that little hole back there. I don't know why, but yeah, that works really well. We'll also add little islands of different things in some of the areas as well, and then build up some more at the back if need be, you know, whatever works. But that is basically the framework now that we can attach all of our BUSE to. Hopefully we won't see any wood or rocks. I'm kidding, maybe. So next up, I'm gonna try and take that off exactly how it's on there, sort of thing, so I don't forget. And then I'm just gonna put some cyanoacrylate super glue, not the gel, just a normal, on the contact point of where that wood was sort of sitting. A little bit of glue just to hold it in place. And then I'm gonna cover the whole thing with lots of glue, hopefully not dripping it down everywhere. Got to be a little bit quick with this because the reaction starts to take place quite quickly. Then I can just place it back on and push it onto that paper. Now it'll start to fizzle quite quickly. You can actually see the smoke come, well you can't, but I can see the smoke. Hang on. I don't know if you can see it now, I think it just happened. But yeah, the smoke comes off of it. You don't want to breathe that in, so don't. And then you just continue doing this all over the rock so you've got enough contact points so you can pick it up. So there we go, there's lots of little contact points you can see. Don't worry, you won't see any of that. And I'd advise wearing gloves as well, because I didn't, and I've just stuck my fingers together about 4 times. But now we can pick the whole thing up, look, it's all solid, and just place it in the tank. So we've got this one on this side, kind of like that, and then this one this side, and I've just had a thought, is it gonna, no. Hang on, don't want to smash the glass. Can I maneuver it? No, I can't. I need to pull the tank out a bit. Slide it forwards and then place it down in. Oh yes, that works awesome. So I also felt that the tank was missing something, a little bit of height, so I've added that piece there and glued it in 2 points, just so it gives us a little bit of height at the background, and I can attach even more boost to that, like a tree coming out the top. And now I think we are set to cover everything in plants. Right, there's not a lot more we can do now until the plants arrive, but the good news is they're coming in a few hours. Fingers crossed, sometimes the delivery drivers get lost. Right, fantastic news. We have plants. Wasn't too bad in the end. Came roughly when I was expecting it, so very excited for these. Ugh. Okay, first of all, I've got a load of tissue culture. So I've got lots of Monte Carlo. I've got UG here, I've got spiky moss, I've got S. repens. Yeah, so these are all pretty cool plants that I'm hoping we can use a few of in with the shrimp as well. Not all of them though, the Monte Carlo stuff is for other builds I'm going to be doing. So we've got absolutely tons here to be able to choose from. And then I also got a load of Java ferns. Here we go. So we've got Windeloff, we've got Trident, and then we've got the normal Terrapus as well. They're all Terrapus, but look at that. Oh my goodness, they are stunning pieces. You cannot argue with that quality, right? These are from Aquafleur, guys. And in case you're wondering, how can you order them? Well, I've got a dealer account, so I can buy direct from them and they post it straight to me as if I was a shop. But obviously I don't sell them. If you want to buy them, then I'll put a link below. If you click the link, it will tell you the stores closest to you that sell the plants. So that's the best thing to do, I reckon. We have got some BUSINESS. This is the Bibliss. So it's kind of like a compact, tight, wavy leaf. So yeah, I've got 3 of them, but I know that I have got more than that, but that looks so nice. Let's get some more up here. Oh, this is Cadagang. It's got more of a sort of purpley tone to it. I've sat you on the table because I think that'll be a lot easier. Oh, and this one is one I've not had before. Lamando, which more green, smaller leafed, crinkly. Oh, I've also got some Cryptocoryne Flamingo, which looks green at the moment, but the roots hint at what is to come. Goes very, very sort of pinky. Let me show you it. So here is my better tank. And if you, hello buddy. So if you look down here, look, you can see there right in the middle, all of the new leaves coming out are a lot more pink. And that's even in this tank where there isn't a huge amount of light as well. So when there's more lighting, it goes massive pink leaves, but they will grow more. It's just their newest leaves there. We got some Ludwigia pilustrous green as well. Works really well for me, this plant. Very vibrant, easily trimmable and replanting. We have got 3 of the Bucephalandra Thiea. I mean, that is my favorite, I think. I love the rounded leaves and I just think they look so detailed. I don't know, they look neat and detailed at the same time. I got 3 more gorgeous Bulbitis as well for other setups, not this one. I got 3 of the BUCE Thiea green, so that's the same plant, but like a much more vibrant green variety, more textures and colours really. And then we got BUSE Philandra Green Velvet as well, just for, you know, another little different texture. They all sort of grow a little bit different once they've been going underwater as well. They can look a little bit similar now, but later on they won't. And then I stocked up again on 5 Anubias Nana, looking really, really nice. And then 5 Anubias Nana Mini. So it's the same plant, it's just the leaves stay a lot smaller for, you know, smaller scapes where you need a bit more detail. There we have it. Nice little haul there. I've gone for, recently I've been ordering more frequently and smaller orders. Previously I used to order absolute tons, fill the whole thing up, and some of them sat around for too long, so I'm just planning ahead a little bit better now. So that's why I've got stuff for different scapes here, as well as what we want now with all this BUSE. So I think what I'm going to do is use all of these BUSEs and all of this Anubias Nana Mini as well, cover everything. It should look fantastic. And all I've got to do to prepare them is take a pot, ease it out, and then obviously you've got the rock wool all around the roots. But we want the roots. Now normally the rock wool just splits in half like this, but you don't want to pull off too much of a big section because it kind of rips it all. So what I do is just take a fork and do that, look, see, it all comes off as one. That one as well. And then just gently sort of scrape it down from the top. You don't have to get everything off, but get off as much as you can be bothered to. So of course the sponge is full of moisture. Now that moisture is full of nutrients. So we don't want that many nutrients being able to go into our tank. Or maybe we do, but we still at least want to control the variable. And then it's just a case of doing that to all of our plants until we've got enough. Oh, there we go, all done. That took longer than it probably looked. Now all we need to do is glue it to our wood in the tank using super glue gel. I've got the Superfish stuff. You can use any kind of super glue, like the non-gel. It's just that it can drip down and look messy, whereas the gel stuff sort of sticks to where you want it, plus on the wood as well. So I think what I'm going to do is put all of my bushiest plants like in the middle. So if I stick like one there, how good does that look? And I'm going to keep the colours all sort of separate as well, so species spread all over. Probably look less natural, but more like a bouquet of BUSE. And to stick it, all we've got to do is put a little bit of the gel right there on the rhizome area, or I've even sort of put it on where the rock wool was. Then I've got this reactor spray, and I can just spray a little bit on the rock there. You don't have to use the reactor, but it does speed everything up so much faster. And then I can just push it in, if I can get under there and push it a bit harder. There we go. Now that is already stuck, that's not going anywhere. And now I'm just going to continue with that process all over. Oh, there we go. It doesn't get much prettier than that. I don't know why I'm so drawn to BUSE. It's only a small little plant. I just think it looks so jungly and sort of natural. Now BUSE isn't cheap, so what you've just seen me put in there is quite the small fortune, but you can start off with one pot of each. And they do grow reasonably fast, about as fast as Anubias, to be honest. So within a year, you might have like full coverage. But the good thing is you can just snip where you want and replace, you know, anywhere else, like any rhizome plant. So what I've done is just sort of try and keep groups of each BUSEs all together. There's the Catagang around there. That looks so good. This will all look miles better when there's water in it, of course. Speaking of which, I think I'm just going to fill it up now because I don't want these to dry out. Okay, there we go, we're filled up. We're a bit misty, but we can sort that with the filter. And the filter I'm going to use is just a normal little Superfish one, but I was a little bit worried about the size of the holes on here. Be fine for the adult shrimp, but any babies might get sucked up if they're not clever enough. So we've got this little foam thing I found. I've just sort of like gouged out a hole in the top. And it should, well, I can't do it one-handed, but it should go on. Yeah, there we go. Like a glove, that'll work perfect. So just got to stick it in over the back. Left or right? I think I'll keep it on the left because then the filter inlet can just sit in the corner. In fact, I've put it kind of central so we can get somewhat of an even flow. Now this doesn't flow out crazy fast because you don't want it really too fast for the shrimp, but you do have to prime it first, which is just a case of pouring some water all into the reservoir and down the back of the tank, which I've just done. Put that back on, and now I can switch it on. Sort of just has to suck the air up first. Here it comes, and we are away. Come on, clear out, there we go. Right, I'm going to fill the water up a little bit more so it's about level with the waterfall. Right, and now I'm just going to stick in some AquaClear, and this thing should be clear within the hour because that filter has got lots of fine filter floss in it, which is perfect then. This will just like coagulate, I think is the word, all those sort of misty pieces clumping together, filter takes them out, stays locked in. Now what tends to happen is you get this really weird sort of milky misting when you use the AquaClear, but that's basically it doing its magic. In a short while it'll be clear, but in the meantime I do want to add more stuff to this foreground because we've got that awesome structure, but I want more details and like toys and things for the shrimp. Now in the shrimp shire, next to the tank, look, the shrimp love these little tunnely things. I've got some more, but without the fake moss on, and I think I'll put those in just as like a little thing for them. I don't know if they need it, but you know, it's cool. Yeah, I just found these in my little supply of things. I can't get this out one-handed, but look, we've got these little round ones as well. I think they'll be quite cute. I'm going to use it all. Okay, I like the tunnels, but they look very artificial in this otherwise quite natural scape, so I'll take those out. I'm going to put some real moss in because shrimp love moss. It just works really well, goes hand in hand, pulls up like bad nutrients like nitrates and everything like that from the water column as well. So, and it grows really nice. So we've got our spiky moss here. Obviously we've got the UG as well. I have attached that to rocks before and it has worked, so I might try it. It's very vibrant green though, so it might look a little bit weird in this tank, but you know, it'll look cool eventually. I'm going to start with spiky moss, just take it out, attach it to some rock with some super glue gel, or you can even use cotton to wrap it. Yeah, and then it will just continue to grow, but don't use too much glue if you're going to use it. Just dab it really gently onto the rock. Okay, that's looking cool, and I want a pop of red in that middle section, and I deliberately stuck this bulb in this tank and some other pieces of BUSE as well that I knew I was going to use, so I can transfer those over now. Such a nice lily this is. So it's tiger lotus, it's on the bulb, look. Oh, there's some shrimpies on it now. This tank is so good, look at it. Don't do anything to it, love it. Now with these bulbs, you don't actually need to plant them at all, you just put them near the substrate, and you can see all of the roots just sending out runners. That's exactly what we want. Leave it like that. Then I've got some other really nice pieces of BUSE as well. So this is more green, so I'm going to put it this side with the darker ones, you know, for contrast. And then this one is more dark, so it can come this side. Just adding a bit of interest in that foreground. And then I've also got some botanicals in here, which is basically dried out leaves and some little poddy things. I put boiling water all over them, so they should sink straight away. Now the botanicals are good because as they break down, yes, it's sinking. Oh, a snail as well, there we go. I think that was already in the pot. But yeah, these leaves are good. As they break down, it creates a biofilm and everything for the shrimp to be able to sort of graze on. Just sort of placing them everywhere. There we go. Now it's the end of the day, but I'm going to come back tomorrow morning. This should all be crystal clear and test the pH and everything and the levels because we need to have the right water parameters for crystal red shrimp. I've made the mistake before of just putting the pH right and not the other areas, but I'm not doing that this time because we want it to be perfect. So yeah, see you in the morning. Right, it's the next day. Look at how clear we are. It looks amazing. But there is one more thing that I want to add. So I've got this feeding tube with a dish at the bottom, and it can look a little bit gimmicky, but it actually serves a good purpose. The shrimp are quite clever, and they work out where to go regularly for food. So if I keep the food going in one spot, they'll come over to it regularly. I can keep more of an eye on the numbers and that sort of thing. Plus it keeps it all in one place and stops it going into the substrate, potentially fouling it. Now some of the shrimp might take the odd bit of food out, but that's not a problem. They'll either eat it, or I'll put snails in the tank as well. Snails and shrimp go together like fish and chips, and they'll get any waste that's in the substrate. Now, one of the reasons for adding the AKADAMA soil was to bring my pH down. From the tap, it's 7, which isn't bad, but it can be better. Caradina shrimp like it a little bit lower pH, hoping to bring it around 6.5 to 6.6, which only sounds like a small drop from 7, but it's a logarithmic scale, which means that drop is actually quite a lot of difference between like neutral and more acidic, and they like it a bit more acidic. So hopefully we can test the water now and see that it's not my usual 7. It shouldn't be. Last time I did this, it worked an absolute treat. So I'll take a water sample up to the line, and then we just need 3 drops of the pH. There's 1, I'm going to let that go. 1, 2, 3. Turn it, and then we can wait. So the testing has come out showing that it's at about 6.6, which is really, really good. That's just sort of about where I want it to sit. The good thing about the AKADAMA soils, all it does is lower the pH. It doesn't affect any of the other parameters. Now I've looked up the other parameters we need, and I'll put it up on the screen here for the parameters for the crystal reds. Now all my other parameters are pretty much bang on. It was just the pH that I needed to bring down slightly, and that's probably why last time I did this, in exactly the same way, it was on a smaller scale, but it worked, and they were breeding quite quickly as well. So I have ordered some stuff, this stuff. It's like a vitality bacteria. I was watching a shrimp channel called Shrimp Mania. Really nice guy. He does amazing stuff. And he went to visit out in, I think it was Japan, maybe, somewhere like that. And all of their tanks with the shrimp had these little packets in them that contain bacteria and minerals and everything they need. Now, there's quite a few in here. I think there's like 6 packs in here. Apparently they last a good while, like a good month or so anyway. So you put this in and it sort of gives the shrimp everything they need. Now a lot of Caridina shrimp breeders, they won't put shrimp in their tank until it's like a month old. But like I did this before and it worked, and that's why I'm sort of doing it again. I know it goes against the typical grain, but obviously we've got a brand new filter and everything on, so I will be adding beneficial bacteria, but the bioload of the shrimp in this big aquarium is like negligible, but I will be testing every day anyway. I'm going to put this bacteria in. I'm just going to stick it down the back area so you can't see it because it's quite ugly, but it's going to do what it's supposed to do. I'm assuming it is. I mean, I've got good reviews. I'll leave a link if you're interested. There we go. I'm just going to sort of, oh, it's going to float for a little bit. It needs to saturate. Saturate for me, please. It's not going to. I don't want to rip the paper though. Just going to put it underneath the wood. And there we go. We're all set. Let's go and get some shrimp. So we're back at Maidenhead Aquatics, and the main reason that I wanted to do this tank was obviously, like I said previously, I saw my crystal red shrimp and I loved it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to do that again. And then I messaged Martin from the shop asking if he had any, and he said yes, but he's on holiday, so you know I'm just going to come down and collect them. But first, I've got to show you Cheryl's discus. She's not in today either because she's working a whole weekend. But look, these fish are not for sale. These are so cool. She's moving house, so she's put amazing discus in here. Owen, do you think I could just pinch these and take them back? She won't notice, will she? Oh, look at them. They're absolutely stunning. Yeah, definitely doing a discus setup soon. That's the reason why I'm moving chunks to the 8 foot, is so that I can start, like, do it again, because last time I panicked when I lost one. And yeah, I'm way more skilled nowadays as well. Can't wait to do that. But yeah, we've got about 10 or 15, Owen, crystal reds. 10 or 15 in there. Might as well scoop them all for me, ain't you? Oh, I've just delivered plants as well. So Owen's going to separate them up. Hang on. Yeah, I've just delivered a load of red root floaters and mini water lettuce. So that will all be divided up for you guys to buy if you want to come to the shop. Be available within, well, by the time this video goes out, they're definitely here. And quite a lot of you as well have been asking, when is the big 8 foot tank here going to be scaped? Well, that's supposed to be happening next week. Like I say, Martin's on holiday, but look at this. Martin's chucked some wood in just to see the size of this whole thing. But look, obviously it will be cleaned up. I'm going to be bringing a curtain to put across there so that we can actually see the tank without all the reflections. But it's going to be so cool. We can cut wood up as we need to as well. Quite like the central island idea though, because it's almost a square 8 foot. I think it's 6 by 8, something like that. But we'll have to see. We'll have a lot to play around with. We've got 2 more of these, or 1 more that can be cut up for either side. But yeah, lots to look forward to. Yes, we've got a good bunch there. Thank you, Owen. Nice one. So we are back from the shrimp shop, and as you can see, I've got an airline hose there hooked on. And as you come down, I've attached it to a gang of taps because I couldn't find a single one. We just drip acclimating the fish. This is the best way to do it, nice and slowly so they're not shocked, because big changes in water parameters for Caridina shrimp can be fatal. So I'm just going to let this fill the whole thing up like this. It's going to take a while, but you know, it's well worth waiting. Oh yeah, you might be noticing as well this big green thing in the back. So I took a whole pot of UG. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the actual name. I'll put it on the screen now. But yeah, I put it onto a rock from the base and glued it on. And I just want to see how it does like that, because usually you kind of have to plant it, I think. So I've tried gluing it to a rock as one piece and seeing how well that gets on. If it works in this tank, it'll work in others. So that's a bit of an experiment. I put it at the back there because it's quite bright and green, isn't it? But yeah, see how that gets on. One eternity later. Okay, we are finally there. It has been a while. Problem is, I've now let the water level drop too low, and we've got the waterfall at the back basically just crashing right down onto the soil, and it's sort of stirred everything up. So we have to top it back up again, and hopefully that clears quickly. There we go, just left it for a little bit, and now it's cleared it up. It's not quite as perfect as it was, but it will be in a short while, and I want to get the shrimp in now. They've been in this for too long, really. Okay then, shrimpies, it's time for your new home. I hope you love it. Oh, it looks so good, don't they? I don't know why these little things are so fascinating, but for me, they just are. Oh, it looks so good on that substrate as well. They really, really pop against that brown, but it still looks kind of natural, do you know what I mean? Oh, look at them in the moss. It looks so good. On the BUSE as well there, and on the wood. Oh, this has turned out fantastic, and I've got a feeling we're going to do really, really well in this tank. Now, of course, the tank is fresh, so we're going to need some beneficial bacteria to go in. 2, 3, bit for luck. And tomorrow morning when I come in, I will definitely be testing the water as well, just to make sure that everything's right. I mean, the bioload of these shrimp isn't going to increase in the ammonia really in a day at all, but something else might. So it's just routine practice for me. Check the water the day after. If all good, I'll check again probably for about 2 or 3 days. And if they're showing no signs, I'm okay usually then. If it shows any increases at all, I'll just keep testing for a week. It takes a couple of seconds, and then you just know that everything's safe. Well, they're moving around all nicely. This is going to be so cool. I think I'm going to put some food down in the tube, just to see if they use it or not. Okay, so I've got some shrimp food. Put it in the hole at the top, give it a little touch, so it can break the surface tension. And down it goes! Now, I don't know if, like fish, they can see food and know it's food. I think it's more about, like, they get a sense of it in the water through, like, taste. But this one's going over. Surely it doesn't know it's there already. I'm going to leave it for a little bit. I'll come back and then, you know, hopefully they're all huddled around in there. They're all moving around the tank, though, nicely. That's always a good sign. I'm hoping they're going to be really, really happy with this water, and I'm going to get some. Well, I just want hundreds and hundreds of them. Like, not to sell or anything. I just want them. Do you know what I mean? Why do I want them? I don't know. I can't explain it. But they're so beautiful. And then some of them are, like, more white. So, like, this one here, I know it's still young, but it's got a lot more white. And there's different gradings of the shrimp. And apparently, like, the less red, the higher the grading. But I like them, like, fully red and white. Now, that one to me there, on the leaf, looks awesome. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this build. It's given you some inspiration. You know, maybe you don't want shrimp, but a BUSE sort of bouquet looks very good, doesn't it? I shall now leave you with some images of the shrimp and some close-ups in case you wanted to see a bit more of them.